Hello dear friends, my name is Dr. Igor Atabekov and I'm a clinical oncologist practicing since 2010. Today, because it's a cold season, there are many infections around, many people are sick with catching cold. I'd like to talk to you about the natural remedy. It's very famous and popular. It's Echinacea purpurea. This is one of the most famous immune-modulating natural remedies. And there are many kinds of echinacea, but purpurea is the most highly studied one. I'd like to tell you about how effective echinacea is in real life on real patients. Let's get started. Echinacea purpurea is the plant which has a lot of different contents inside. And these are polysaccharides, glycoproteins, flavonoids, these are derivatives of caffeic acids, but for us it's not so important. If you look at the effects that were shown on preclinical investigations, meaning that investigations on the cells, under microscope in laboratory, on the laboratory animals, the scientists found these effects. This is anti-inflammatory and modulation of immune system through cannabinoid receptors of second type. Before I was talking about cannabidiol, the cannabis-derived substance, which can be used for different neurological problems, for Parkinson's disease, for example. Very interesting reports about oncological diseases. If you didn't see, please watch this video. And through the same receptors, through the system in our organism, echinacea may cause these effects. Also, it showed some effect in osteoporosis as antiviral against herpes, HIV, coronavirus, against influenza, as antibacterial remedy, as antioxidant, and it can reduce itching. But this all is preclinical, meaning that many of these effects may not be visible in real humans if you use it in human, because the conditions where they do these investigations often cannot be repeated in the real human body. And most of these effects have never been studied in humans. Maybe they will work, I don't know. But what I found is all about respiratory infections on humans. So let's see the first study. And this is their otitis media, recurrent. Small kids who often get cold, and afterwards this cold develops into the inflammation of their ear. And this can be really serious problem. That's why the investigators tried to find the solution for this problem, and they decided to test echinacea because it's an immunomodulator. And they conducted a nice randomized placebo-controlled investigation on small kids up to 60 months of age who often have acute otitis media, the inflammation of the ear. And they gave echinacea to the kids who already caught cold, and they watched if it will help to prevent development of otitis media. But unfortunately, they didn't find any decreased incidence of this complication. And even they found that echinacea can a little bit increase the risks of these complications. That's why maybe it's not the best thing to use in such kids. Let's go further. Other interesting big investigation on patients who had a sore throat, quite severe sore throat for 3 days. They took children that are older than 12 years, and they compared if echinacea plus sage spray will be more effective or less effective than standard chlorhexidine with lidocaine spray. Chlorhexidine is the antiseptic widely used in traditional official Western medicine, and lidocaine is the anesthetic that can be used for different local procedures, because it makes you feel no pain and feel numb. And those kids who had 3 days of quite severe sore throat, they started to give one or the second spray. and they saw that there was no real difference in effectiveness of these two. But the only problem with this investigation, there was no group of children who got their placebo spray to see maybe these results will be the same if they just used placebo. Maybe the symptoms will go away by its natural cause. But anyway, let's go further. The most, for me, interesting investigation. The scientists made a big systematic review and meta-analysis, meaning they took a lot of articles, a lot of investigations, they put them together, they compared them, they made them look similar and tried to do statistical analysis and check how effective the echinacea is during cold, during respiratory infection, or to prevent them. You can see the number of articles they analyzed and the number of clinical trials. So they analyzed 29. Here you see the authors and years that they analyzed. What was their conclusion? That echinacea can be effective in prevention of respiratory infections. During the cold season, if it's high risk to get sick, maybe it may be a good remedy to decrease the risk of catching cold. But if the person is already sick, it really doesn't help to get rid of symptoms faster. In general, echinacea was quite a safe drug, at least if you use it not very long. That means that all these effects, they may be real in real patients, but nobody really checked them. So for now, we know that echinacea may be effective in preventing respiratory infections during the high-risk season, but it shouldn't be probably used for treatment of existing respiratory infection. I hope it was interesting for you. Thank you for your attention and for your time. God bless you. Bye-bye.